I did my ABA Inside Track over episode 199 about self-care and modern-day burnout with Dr. Julie Slowiak. The articles in this podcast are self-care strategies and job crafting practices among behavior analysts. Do they predict perceptions of work-life balance, work engagement, and burnout? From the Behavior Analysts in Practice article by Slowiak and DeLongchamp. And then the other article is Impact of COVID-19 on the Applied Behavior Analysis Workforce, Comparison Across Remote and Non-Remote Workers from the Behavior Analysis in Practice, article 14, 1 through 10 by Jimenez, Gomez, Sawney, and Albert. So this episode, you hear more about burnout, then self-care is mentioned. There has been both in literature, but it seems like self-care was only pertaining to certain fields and not talked widely enough among the other fields that it is today. And self-care is usually mentioned referring to personal self-care when professional self-care also needs to be considered. There are things you can do at work to help mitigate the burnout. There are daily behaviors or strategies for the physical, psychological, and emotional, also spiritual aspects for your well-being. And then personal care and professional care intertwine and work together. It is important to also sustain relationships and always find your balance. So I think that investing in a hobby would be good, and especially as a teacher, even incorporating that as something that you like to do, even within class, might actually help with the burnout. I mean, they mentioned knitting, and for some that might be helpful, but others it's difficult and frustrating. But you'll just have to find your own niche to figure out what you enjoy. And it's not always about just doing something to help distract you, but it is good. They seem like that you have to start with personal self-care first, because you can't just take care of yourself while you're at work and then go home and be stressed out. Vice versa. I think most of the time people do think about self-care, but after work. So you've got to find a balance and make sure that you sustain your relationships and socialize too. That's why they mentioned the article about COVID-19, because there was also a lot of isolation, and we're social beings and we need to be able to communicate. And it's not always a physical communication, talking and whatnot. You can, even messaging. I know social media has been a big outlet for that too. So I would check out this episode. It's pretty cool. I mean, especially since they do talk about COVID-19 a little bit, since that has been a major issue in the world the last couple of years. All right. Thank you.